folks. Welcome to Best Stock Charts for the coming week. This is where we review the symbols that we are watching for the next trading week. So I'm going to begin this commentary off with, how did we do last week? Well, I ask ourselves that question, how did we do? Because we had a couple of members that decided that they were going to end their membership. They were new members. They joined in an environment where it's rather challenging to trade in a market that is very volatile and looking for direction. And either way, in the next week or so, it's going to break either down or up. Now, I solicited feedback from one of the members, and the other member prior to him ending his membership told me why he was ending the membership, which is fine. And both came to the conclusion that we took too many losses last week and the week prior. So I'm going to answer the question I posed early on in this commentary. How did we do last week? We did very well, and we took losses. How is that possible? I'm going to refer you to a video I did yesterday, and it was a post-trade review of the Contrarian Daily Regional Bank ETF. I'll link to it on YouTube. I'll link to it on the website. Now, how did we do well? Well, the key is that we stopped out of losing positions early, and we kept our opening positions small. So the impact on our overall portfolio did poorly. Case in point, SPXS, which puts us short of the S&P 500, we were stopped out, very small loss. We're going to be looking to get back involved soon. Members will talk more about SPXS and the S&P 500 on the weekend commentary coming out later today. We also took a loss on the FAZ as well last week, which puts you short of the banks. We are now short of the banks again, but we did stop out last week, again, with a small loss. So how is it that we were able to come out the week to the positive? It's because we have a very large position, which we've been building on for quite some time, in the NUGT. This is the leveraged ETF that puts you long of the gold mining names. And we were up on this position, which is a significantly larger position than all of our positions that we were stopped out of cumulatively over the past 2 weeks. And we were up alone last week 10.28% on the NUGT. And we're looking to add more to this position in the coming week and weeks. We've been building a position for quite some time as we've been consolidating. And last week, we broke out. So to close off my opening comments here, there's only one thing, and this is me just being completely honest. There's only one guarantee that I can make, and it's this, is that if you join, you will lose money. I repeat, if you join, you will lose money because it's the only guarantee that the market provides you. The key is keep the losses small and allow your winners to run. Approach your trades with a discipline. Don't go jumping in with both feet. If you want to buy 2,000 shares of SPXS, you don't go jumping in day one buying 2,000 shares. You go in, you buy 200 shares. Then, as the market proves you accurate in your thesis, then you add more and you build your position. All right, let's get to gold. This is one of the positions that I am very, very optimistic on in the coming week and weeks that we will be looking to put on. Again, we have opened the position in the gold mining names. We've been building a position for quite some time. Now we are looking at gold, which had a very volatile week last week, but we made intra-week highs last week, not seen since August of 2016. We did have some overhead supply. Sellers moved in and they took gold off the highs of the week. We have RSI, which has broken out. We've pulled back, we retested. Last week we began to move higher again. I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see gold rally in the next couple of weeks. And once we close above 1377.50, we're going to 1400 in a heartbeat. You're going to see a short squeeze on gold like you've never seen before. Members will talk more about gold on the week ahead commentary. If you're looking for an individual name that's setting up nicely, GORO is setting up nicely. Let's throw some lines up here. So on a weekly chart, GORO broke out last week. We have a nice cup, handle formation forming. We are breaking out, or we have broken out. RSI has confirmed the breakout. A little lethargic here on Stokes, but this stock is very close to flashing a buy signal. Volume was very light last week. We need to see volume rise on this breakout. So let's watch for a follow-through to the upside on GORO, and especially watch the volume bars. Members will talk more about the daily chart in a moment on the week ahead commentary. Valero, another stock that we're watching. We broke out 2 weeks ago. We had a follow-through week last week. We're looking for a pullback now. I'm loving the setup here on a weekly basis. Higher lows on the Stokes RSI breaking out. Volume was a bit light. NUGT poised to go positive. We may get a pullback here, but that pullback may just be an opportunity to buy. Members will talk more about VLO on the week ahead commentary. The next chart up, Energy, ERX. This is the leveraged ETF. We broke out last week. We had a tumultuous consolidation here over the past couple of months. A huge week last week, vastly outperforming the S&P 500. Volume was simply outstanding. So a very nice setup here. Higher lows on RSI. Stokes are hooking up. Members will talk more about the daily chart on the week ahead commentary. Next chart up, MDU. We spoke about this chart a couple of weeks ago. We were watching for a breakout. We did get the breakout. We're pulling back now. We're retesting the breakout point. RSI confirming. Stokes are rising. Volume to the downside dropped off last week. Exactly what you want to see when you're doing a retest. So we're nearly locked and loaded to go buying MDU resources this coming week. Members, stay tuned for more commentary later on today on the daily chart, which we use more as a timing mechanism to open our positions and add to our positions. The next chart up, KEX, Kirby Corp. I spoke about this one a couple of weeks ago. We were looking for a breakout. We got the breakout. Now we're looking for a pullback. Loving the setup here. Higher lows on Stokes. RSI rising. So momentum is at its back. So what we're seeing here, the stocks that I've gone over so far and the indexes I've gone over so far, you're seeing early stage breakouts, new leadership. So while tech is taking it on the chin, you're seeing mining stocks. You're seeing resource plays. You're seeing commodity plays rally. So new leadership is emerging. Volume came in a bit lighter than the moving average and certainly lighter than the prior week's very strong up volume bar. So members will talk more about the daily chart later on today on the week ahead commentary. The next chart up is the EDC, the Direxion Daily Emerging Markets Bull Leveraged ETF. Weekly chart, again, that higher level view. Later on with members, I'll be discussing the major averages on Market Pulse Check and the major indexes as well to take a pulse check of the overall markets as we proceed into the coming week. Now, the one chart that will influence the EDC is the US dollar, which has been weak, and the EDC performs better when the dollar is weak. We were up 3% alone last week with the dollar down. Now, we did close off the highs of the week. We are holding support. The daily chart is setting up very nicely. Members, we're going to talk more about the daily chart of EDC in a while. First, before we leave the weekly chart, let's just take note of our indicators. We are trading down below 50 on both RSI and Stokes. That's a bit of a concern, because when these indicators trade down below 50, rallies tend to fade, and you saw a bit of that last week, right? We didn't close at the highs of the week. We closed well off the highs of the week. But there's opportunity here because we are trading very close to the lower band of support. So we are very close to where we would enter a stop loss keep our losses small should we decide to open up a position. I'm going to talk more about this chart and the daily chart later on with members on the weekend commentary, along with the daily chart and the weekly chart of the U.S. dollar. It's very critical to identify where the U.S. dollar is going because it directly influences the emerging markets trade. The next chart up, Weight Watchers, WTW. Let's throw some lines up here. All right, so on a weekly basis last week, Weight Watchers was up 6%. It had a very strong week. And what's good about this chart is that we negated a very bearish prior week. On the week of April the 2nd, we flashed a bearish key reversal. Now, RSI and Stokes are giving hints of the possibility of hooking up, which would be bullish. In fact, RSI already is hooking up. We're just not putting in higher highs yet. Volume was a bit light last week. So while it was a promising week, I don't think Weight Watchers is a buy just yet. It may be a buy once we take a look at the daily chart and we take a look at our risk-reward exposure. Now, if we rally and we close above this upper band of resistance on a weekly basis, then it would look very promising from a higher level view. So, members, we're going to talk more about the weekly and daily charts of Weight Watchers on the week ahead commentary. More to come here. WPX Energy, a really nice chart. This is a monthly chart. So what we're seeing on a monthly basis thus far is a bullish key reversal, and we are now trading above last month's highs. Very promising stuff. We broke out of this triangle formation back in December. We've been consolidating. So the monthly chart, that really high level view, is looking very good. Weekly chart, we have broken out on RSI. Stokes are forming a higher low and the possibility of a double bottom setup, which is quite bullish. Both lines on Stokes are trading above 50 on a weekly basis, and we broke out last week. Really good stuff. And again, folks, energy, commodities, resource plays, all doing well, while the technology sector, as evidenced here by the XLK, rather than breaking out, we're showing signs of topping action. We haven't seen a break yet, so it's too early to call the rally in technology over, but it's certainly under a lot of pressure. We're seeing the opposite in the energy and commodity space. You're seeing strength. Back to XLK for a moment. You may be saying, Bob, we closed up last week on the XLK. And that is very true. And for all I know, the XLK is going to break out to new highs next week, or it could break down. The market will tell us that. But take note of the fact that while the XLK is attempting to recapture support levels and closing off the highs of the week, names such as MD Resources, they are breaking out and are very close to 2018 highs. Kirby Corp, new multi-year highs. Gold Resources broke out last week. Gold hit a multi-year intra-week high last week. So where do I want to place my bets? On those industries and sectors that are showing relative strength. And for all I know, back to XLK, for all I know, this time next week, I could be pounding the table saying buy XLK. Not right now, though. And that's it for this week, folks. Everybody have a really great remainder of your weekend. Have a profitable trading week. Members, I will talk to you on the week ahead commentary. If you're watching this on YouTube, follow me there. Leave a comment. I'll certainly get back to you. If you watch us on the website, enter your email address. We hate spam too. You'll not be spammed. We'll send you out some free trade tutorials. Everyone, be well.